going on, man?
Not much, not much. Nice weekend, Got to see some really good basketball at the MI3 Center. You know what I'm saying? Got to see some EYBL teams, CP3. You know what I'm saying? Had a good team. Got to see the Houston Hoop 17s play. First time I seen them play all year. Got to see some teams from Rhode Island. Really good team out of Dallas. That max level lead. Tyrese Maxey's 16U team was really, really good as well. JL3 had a good 16U out there. They played very well. So some good basketball this weekend. Pro skills as well, too.
Mm-hmm. What's going on, Chad, man? Top Guns, Chad, man. I see, Chad. I see. I finally got a logo I could work with, man. Excited about that, man. Rob, man, how about you, man? It's been 2 weeks, fella. It's been 2 weeks. So how you been, man?
Chilling, man. I was in the gym all day yesterday at the blend tryout.
Yeah, let people know where you was at, man. They think you just because you wasn't in the grassroots gym. Now you still in the gym though.
Nah, yeah, I was still in the gym. I was at the blend tryout from 9 in the morning to 8 at night. So I was there all day. It was pretty good. Got to see some kids that I knew. A lot of 2020 graduates was out there, like Derrick Brown from St. Pius and some others. Even some kids like Nehemiah Radler from Madison was there. It was a lot of talent spread out across the 360. Tyler Jackson was there. Maurice Pinnock was there. So it was Carson Smith from Lamar was there. So it was a nice little collection of talent, man. Nice little setup. Appreciate Coach Schumacher for inviting me out, man. So yeah, it was a good day.
No, that's what's up, Miss Tori. Happy Monday to you as well. Man,
what about you?
It's been a lot for me. So it's been 2 weeks. So the week prior, the last week of April, I had the chance to go to Louisville, Kentucky, with Team Temple to the NY to LA Grassroots Showcase, and then this following weekend at the MI3 Showcase, presented by the Circuit. And so it just was really good just to see different teams, to see, just some high level basketball teams from different places, be able to get down and do what they do.
Yeah, most definitely, man. That NY to LA tournament was lit. I ain't gonna lie. Shoot, it was some different out there. It was some different out there, man. I got to see some teams that I ain't never seen before and had some talent. I mean, they had a 7'3" kid walking around, a couple 6'11s walking around. So it was thick.
Yeah.
52 courts in one spot. And I mean that alone itself was just something different all over. So it was good to see some guys, some different type of style, very different style up there compared to us down here. So, but everybody gonna get a chance to see it. The Lone Star in about another 3 weeks. At the end of May, they're gonna have an NYTLA stop here, so that's gonna be big for the state for sure to see what that look like. So,
yep. What's going on, Mr. Dudes, man? And for those who may not know, it'll be their 5th time making a stop in Dallas. It's just a lot of people don't participate or they don't go. Because a lot of people just have that mentality of I don't need to leave the state necessarily to play basketball, or I'm already committed to something in Texas. that I feel is just as big, I would say. But until you actually go out there and see for yourself, you don't you don't really know. And so for me, I've been trying to get teams to play for a while on the NYLA circuit. But just everybody I come across has always said, I'm not leaving the state of Texas. It got everything I need. And I mean, to each his own. But there's different styles of basketball. And also from a parent's perspective, it lets them see what else is really out there. Everybody don't play the same way. And there's other kids. Hey, if there's hundreds of thousands of seniors who's playing basketball every year, and only 1.8% of those kids, 1,000 kids, get a scholarship, then where do you think all these other kids is coming from? I'm talking about in the country. Like, that's not a Texas. I don't even know what the Texas breakdown honestly really is. But I'm just talking about like that's the country breakdown. And so where do people think that all these other kids honestly are just they're coming from? Like you have to be able to see teams from different parts of the country because everybody plays basketball, a different brand of basketball, a different style of basketball. Um, and it's not always about the scoring of the game. And I want to touch on that as well because okay, yes, who doesn't like a score? Everybody likes a score. But what about the guy who getting 8 assists? What about the guy locking people up, holding people to only 4 points? What about the guy getting 5, 6 blocks? And so, someone kind of brought this to my attention. Won't say their name. They uh, you know, keep them nameless for the sake, but they brought it to my attention that a lot of Houston, all they talk about is the scoring. If you're not scoring, then we're not going to talk about you. And so, but when do we talk about the other guys, fellas? I want to get y'all insight because I agree with them on that sense, and that's why a lot of people when I first started even, and I still don't. I get more credit than what I did get, but I still don't get as much. But because when you talk about people who aren't just scoring the basketball, then it's just to them, oh, anybody can do that. But honestly, really, can anybody go out and get six? We'll say six plus assists every single time they step on the court on a high school level. Can everybody honestly do that? Can every prospect go out and block five, four? Well, I'll go to four shots a game on the high school level. Can everybody go out and get 4 to 5 steals every? I'm talking about sitting on the guy steals, not no just playing the passing lanes or getting a loose ball still. I'm talking about sitting on the guy, getting the poke, getting the steal. But there's guys who do that, but they just don't get praised for doing so. So
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, people gonna hate when I say this, but that's why I like LeBron. I feel like he was one of the first superstars who impacted the game, not only from scoring but from facilitating and making the guys around him better. And I think and doing more things on the floor. But I think the biggest thing to kind of for high school, I think the thing that was the misperception is we always pushing kids to be scorers. Oh, he got to be a dog, man. He got to do this and that, and we're not really pushing kids to be basketball players and understand that there's more than one thing to do on the floor. And honestly, like I've always been told and taught, is the guys who do score. Okay, to me, scores are born. It's natural. And I feel like sometimes people need to understand what about the sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth man on the team who can still get a full ride scholarship. They're gonna have a role. They're gonna do different things that's gonna help the team win. And I think sometimes we don't want to teach kids to be that type of player. We don't want to teach the kid to be a role player or be a team player. And then truthfully, when you really look at it at the college level, you know, efficiency, like he just said, is about doing things that's consistent. And a lot of guys, everybody ain't scoring 20-some points a game, things like that. But I think that's what we teach kids, especially I think here in Houston, especially in Texas, is the only way you're gonna make it if you're a scorer. We're not teaching kids. We got point guards who all they want to do is shoot the ball. They really don't want to facilitate. We don't teach kids how to understand if you're a point guard, your role is really to get paint touches and try to facilitate to your guys because you make the defense collapse. But we don't teach that a lot here. And I think ultimately, like for me, when I went to NYCLA, I got to see a whole different type of brand of basketball that was really good basketball. It was more half court. It was more running sets. It was more guys moving the ball. A lot of the guys out there were shooters and not so much, aggressive to the paint. But a lot of teams, even from 14 year on up, those guys was moving their ball, passing, cutting, moving. So, you had guys playing defense, guys rebounding. It was just a different type of game. It was just more team oriented than like one guy just like on an island. Okay, I can beat this guy. Okay, all right, let me pass. Oh, let me beat this guy. Okay, all right, I can't pass. Let me beat this guy. It was more team basketball. And I think that's really what we got to get better at. Come on, Rob. Come on, devil advocate.
Oh, definitely. First of all, me and G, they talk about this all the time, man. I understand what people be saying, like, we got to get better in Houston, but everybody got their own flavor, though. Like, everybody got their own style, how they play, whatever. I'm not disagreeing with what y'all saying. It's just like, I heard the conversation, for the person who will remain nameless. And I got the utmost respect for him, you know what I'm saying? And I agree to a certain point about what he was saying and the overall thing. But it's like, at the same time, when people do talk about, oh, this kid had 8 assists, or this kid had, 9 rebounds, 6 blocks, other people get the bashing and saying that, man, he don't really know what he's talking about. And this kid had 27 points, but he talking about somebody who only scored 6 points. So it's like, it's kind of a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you gotta go out and just evaluate the way you evaluate and write about what you want to write about. Like, when I was writing, I don't always write about kids that was scoring. You know what I'm saying? I try to highlight the the little known people or whatever. But I get it though, like scoring is glorified 1,000% in this city, but we gotta be better at support. When we ask for something, I think that we ask for stuff, right? And then when it don't come from specific people that we think it should come from, we discredit it automatically. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say it, so he said it. We don't really think that he know what he's talking about, so we ain't. You know what I'm saying? But there's people in this city that actually don't sit there and talk about points and stuff all day long. And I think that even that mentality of talking about scoring was bred from the Houston Chronicle. Because you remember back in the day, like, when they put the high school, you didn't get your name on the paper if you didn't score 10 points. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, even when I was hoop, like, man, I got to get the team, man. I want to see my name, got to get the team. So it kind of like get embedded into your head. And sometimes you have to take a step back and be like, man, wait a minute. This kid had 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 5 blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know, man. I don't want to talk because I'm going to touch on that when we go to my segment, but
I don't even think it's just a Houston thing. I think it's just in general. I don't think it's just a Houston thing. I think in general, I think nowadays we talk more about that than we do like the other things that go along with playing basketball. I think even guys who are big time team players don't get respect sometimes, as much as they should, because that's not, people don't care about the ultimate teammate. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about that. or that kid who. But I'm gonna say this: college coaches who really know about winning, when they're out and they're watching games, they pay attention to that. They pay attention because if they see a kid who like 6'8", 6'7", run the floor, catches the ball, block shots, rebound, he may end up with like 8 points because we know it's not a post game anymore. But if he end up with like 8 points, maybe like 3-4 blocks, 6, 7, 8 rebounds, college coaches gonna see that. They're gonna see that because that's what, again, that kid who they gonna need to protect that paint and things like that, they're gonna see that. I think the thing that sometimes is that the guard play, when you start talking about them kids who like 6 foot, 5'11", 5'10", 6'1", it's, we don't really talk about that point guard who get all the assists and get some steals. We maybe talk about that kid who had like 20-some points off of 30 shots. When it's like, whoa, if you got 30 shots, you better get 20 points. I mean, let's just keep that 100. Like you got to be able to get 20 points if you're getting that many shots a game. So that, I think that's what more people talk about is we do glorify some guys that score, but if you getting 30 shots, 25 shots, even 20 shots, I hope you can get 20 points. I really do. I really hope you can, because you're not even counting fouls, shooting free throws, anything like that, So, we also got to get better with that too, is really paying attention to what guys really are efficient, because when you get to college, you ain't getting 20, 30 shots a game. That just ain't going to work. So.
But I mean, even that, nobody don't want to talk about that. Nobody want to talk about that. Like,
well,
if you write an article and say somebody went 12 for 29 and they had a bad game, like, they're gonna kill you. Like,
yeah.
Oh man, but he had 25 points, but he went to the free throw line 18 times and he shot the ball 27 times. That's not good.
No, it's
not good.
It's not. It's not. But that's the James Harden love right there,
Yeah, it is.
That's some James Harden, type numbers. So, man. What G they at, man?
I don't know. We might be having some technical difficulties. That day we.
Oh, y'all boys having issues?
Man, that day we had the students on. The first time he was gone for like 20 minutes. Yeah, he was gone for a minute.
But I see, Jason Wyatt's dad. He said if a kid averages 8 assists in a game, it's sometimes seen as he can't score. Yeah, I think that is true in its way, especially depending on the position of the kid, his size, and things like that. I think that's very true. Instead of realizing that kid was able to get 8 assists, where he still put 16 points on the board, or maybe more, depending on if it's a 2-pointer or if it's a 3. So I think it, and I also think it's about the stage that some kids are on. Because if you playing on a certain stage at the right time, people will see that. And the reason why I say that is that, like, just to kind of bring an example, my son got a McNeese offer because when they played against Anthony Edwards, he had 5 points, 12 assists, and 5 rebounds. And McNeese was like, oh man, he controlled the game, he controlled the tempo, things like that. So I think it really, again, like I said, it just depends on who the coaches are and who's watching. But it's about being able to be on the right stage so you get that opportunity for certain people to see you, so they can glorify you for what you do best instead of what everybody else see.
True.
So,
true. It's all about time and the opportunity.
Yeah, most definitely.
Man. So did you get it?
Oh, there you go. There you go. God, Lord, boy. What happened, my G?
No, I was.
We apologize for all the
I
technical
apologize for all
difficulties.
the difficulties, bro. Hey, my boy hop on and hop right off, man. Hop
Man,
right on.
Mr. Dudes, everybody, how y'all been? Miss Raspberry, Miss Sanders. Hey, Miss Sanders. Mr. Cheney, how y'all been, man? How y'all been? Oh, there you go. He back now.
I was being producer behind the scenes, man.
Got you. Got you.
Oh, okay, you was behind the scene.
Got you.
But we got Carol's Corner coming. I was meant to say we got Carol's Corner coming up, man. Y'all was doing good.
We thought you had technical difficulties
No,
again.
Hey,
man. I set the stage. I exited, man. You know what I'm talking about.
hey, got you.
But no, we got Carol's Corner coming up next.
One thing you'll never see me do, and that's giving up. That money, you right, can't get enough. Pump pressure to the game, and I ain't letting up.
How y'all people doing, man? As y'all can see, I don't have no guests again today. It's been 2 weeks. I tried to leave the hoodie. I ain't bring the hoodie on today. I left the hoodie off today, man. But man, it's a lot going on in the city, man. I love my city, but like we all gotta find a happy medium. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of back and forth about media in this city, about rankings in this city. And yes, I talk about this a lot because this issue keep coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really think that people need to go look at the definition of the word media and understand that the word epitomizes different forms of whatever. You know, media ain't just doing interviews or making videos or writing articles. It's a combination of everything. So when people are actively out here, you know, trying to help the kids in a genuine fashion, we should organically as a city push it if it's the right direction, if it's the right thing to do. We shouldn't sit there and bash nobody and be like, oh man, they only do interviews, or he just on their podcast, or he just write articles or whatever. Because in actuality, the people that mostly be getting bashed are the people that's actually doing it for the right reasons. And that's crazy. And that goes back to what I was saying about the subject that we were just speaking on. If, you know, it's not coming from certain people that y'all want to hear it from, then y'all just discredit it. Because y'all brainwashed yourself to believe that them the only people that can talk about this, or that's worthy to say this and say that. But it's hardworking people every day in this community that's busting their behind, trying to get y'all attention, but people keep telling them they ain't paid their dues and all that, man. Like, it shouldn't take 5 years for somebody to say, oh, Rob actually know what he's talking about. Or Jeff actually know what he's talking about. You know, Gary actually know what he's talking about. Like, if the man know, if he credible and, you know, he fact checking what he doing, man, let's get behind him. Let's get behind him. And not just in his face, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then when he leave, like, oh, girl, he don't know what he talking about. Also, man, we gotta tighten up with telling people how we really feel. Like, if you don't agree with me, tell me. Don't lie to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to. It's people that need to be policing this thing and need to start checking these people, because it's a lot of, for a lack of a better word, it's a lot of fraudulent stuff going on, man. I seen a tweet today, and I'm gonna say his name. I seen a tweet today from John Yuri, and he just discrediting kids. Like, understand, you the leader of an organization that has the same age of these kids. So what if somebody came to you and said, oh, this person ain't good, or that person ain't good, or whatever? You're talking about kids, man. And you're supposed to be one of the pioneers of this. And you're always doing it. You're always doing it. And the people you talk about don't never respond to you. They don't care. They don't care. And it's always something every summer, man. When is somebody going to stand up and say enough is enough, man? You need to chill out. When? When is somebody? I want to know that. That's a question for everybody out there. Y'all can email Robert Hatter on the Chop Shop. Y'all can do whatever. That's a question. When is somebody gonna tell John Yuri that enough is enough? Because you're talking about kids. You did the same thing with Brian Miles when he committed somewhere. Then you went and stole the kid's glory. I didn't say your name then. I don't think I did. But if I did, oh well. You're like, you need to chill. You need to chill. Like, and people in your organization need to tell you to chill. Parents in your organization need to tell you to chill. Because if you were doing it, if somebody was doing it to kids in your organization, you'd be hot. They'd be hot because you'd be talking about somebody's child. We got to take responsibility. We always talk about the city. The city need to be real with each other, man. And understand that doesn't get us anywhere. That only further divides us. That's all I really got to say today, man. I'm interested to see what I want Jeff to speak on this too, and I'm interested to see what Anthony got to say about this. But that's it though, man. Like, I'm all with it. I'm all for it. I'll help any organization. I'm all with it. Like, and I want to say this real quick too, because I heard that this was brought up in that conversation too, and I agree with it. That the person was saying about there should be a video person and a scout evaluator person to write articles that should go with every travel team to help them out. I agree with that. But if we remember in 2019, when I went with the Defenders to Kansas City, people was killing me for that. I mean, I don't care, but they was killing me. I'm just gonna be 100% real quick. They was calling me dick riders. They was calling me. Am I lying, Jeff? Am I lying?
No, you ain't.
They was calling me a clout chaser. They said ever since I got into a real organization, now all I want to do is kiss shoot teams' ass, which was the farthest thing from the truth because I got paid to do that. So I didn't say, "Hey, I like Under Armour." And this is no discredit to Larry or Coach Harrison, Coach Larry, Coach Cat. I love them guys, but I didn't sit there and say, "Hey, I love Under Armour so much, I'm gonna jump on the bus with some teenagers away from my kids and ride 23 hours to Kansas City because I love Under Armour so much." No, I did it because I was paid to do it, and the publicity needed to be done. It was a job. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. We'll say all the good things like, yeah, Jeff, you should go with XYZ. And then when he goes, like, why he only went with them? Why he only talking about them? Why he ain't talking about us? So we got to check ourselves, man. I really wish that it was a forum or something that we can set up where we can all talk and bring and have it could be uncomfortable conversations, man. But like the John Yuri stuff, man, that stuff gotta stop, bro. You talking about kids, man. We're talking about kids.
Man.
Like, and no disrespect, if you played that team, I don't know if you really want that smoke like that. I'm saying it. I said it. And I ain't discrediting no players. I talked to Luke Burton, PJ, phenomenal score, Mason Docks facilitating, good, solid guard. But if you played the hoops, I don't think it's gonna go in your favor.
Oh, he brought it up. Man,
I said it.
Hey, this is the funny thing though, Rob, and this is how I feel about this. The biggest things that I had, and you know how I feel about this, the biggest thing that I hate about the whole ranking evaluation, and one of the reasons why, during the pandemic, when I got with Jeter and talked about wanting to do it, was because I felt like there wasn't a lot of neutral perspectives on it. And the reason why I said that is because I feel like we got to be real. The rankings and all this is about money. Let's just keep 100. And now you're not between us, like we don't do it for money, but it's one of those things that we know what this business is about. Basketball is about money. Circuits, all that. This is about money. And what sometimes people don't want to talk about is you don't get glorified for finding a dude who may go D3 or may go D2. You get glorified for the guy talking about the guy who is going to be predictive, D1 or whatever, when sometimes you ain't got to talk about that kid because some kids are just good enough to where they're going to get recognized regardless, no matter what. It's nothing we can say. Like Bryce Griggs, we wouldn't have to talk about Bryce Griggs, never. We wouldn't, never. He's going to get noticed. It's, a Tyler Smith. We don't got to talk about him, never. He going to get noticed. Terrence Arsenault, he going to get, it's just, but the issue that I have with it is exactly what you just brought up. I used to talk about Jordan Williams a couple years ago when nobody wanted to give him credit. None. He's a football player. He needs to stay on the football field. Da-da-da-da-da. And I just seen him give the number one point guard in 2022 this weekend the business. Like, locked him up, beat him up. He couldn't score on him. He was hitting deep threes, getting to the rim, facilitating everything. Like, I'm talking about giving boys the work. And we won't even talk about that. And again, I love PJ Harden's game. I love it. He's a great scorer. Great scorer. But let's be real. It's Jordan, PJ Harden's two different type of apples and oranges. Like, it just is. And sometimes I feel like with the rankings, really, kids shouldn't even worry about rankings because it's people's opinion. And if we was to sit down and talk about one person, you would get probably 5 different opinions depending on who the people are at the end of the day. So for me, I feel like sometimes with the rankings is you got to let the rankings be what they are and just continue to do what you do. And the right things are going to happen to the right people who are doing what they're supposed to do. And the right people are going to talk about the kids the way they need to be talked about. And sometimes I think what the biggest issue is, Rob, is that we won't accept that right now there's beef in the city. So the rankings are going to be totally opposite anyways. Because right now, Marcus Sloan and Jim Hicks is never going to agree because they don't never want people to say, hey, oh, man, he copied off of Jim Hicks, or oh, he copied off of Sloan. So they're going to have their own opinions anyways. They evaluate different. They have their own mindsets. They think different. They do things different. So if one kid is in the top 10 on Sloan and Hicks and not in the top 10 on Sloan, that just is what it is. But I think the people who really know, and we all know, we know who good and who not. And again, sometimes the truthful thing that some people don't realize is it really just depends on who watching who. Meaning, for instance, how many people went and watched Jordan Williams at Second Baptist and really seen him play? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many people really see him? Because you're going to say Austin Benini because Austin Woodlands Christian played in more tournaments this past year that we all can see. Is that Jordan Williams' fault? Is that Austin Benini's fault? No, they go to a school that may not want to play in certain tournaments. That just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just using that as an example because, again, you got some kids who play in all of Jim Hicks' events. Season opener, hoops given. And so, again, they're going to be seen on that stage more. And that's the thing that sometimes I think we just gotta look at basketball, what that kid can do. And I think, Rob, you hit it on the head. It's like, when can we all sit down and really just talk about who we think really the top player in the city? And hey, it's gonna be some beef, but let's just keep 100. Like, that's why I think it's one of those things why I say the rankings don't matter. It don't. And the reason why I say it don't matter is, to me, it's everyone's opinion. And what I mean by that is, it's certain people have certain relationships with certain people. And I think if you're on that list, then somebody watching you, somebody seeing you, somebody got their eye on you. Now, I think the biggest issue sometimes that people have with the rankings is that we see year after year after year, certain kids stay in a certain, level, top 25 or whatever, and they were really good their freshman year. And by the time they senior year, they the same player, and other people have progressed over them, have gotten better. And we won't be real with the situation and just say, hey, that kid better. Hey, that kid is better. And I hate to say it, but Rob, remember the year Montavious Murphy was at Concordia and we had Stretch as the number one player, and I argued everybody that Montavious Murphy was the number one player in Houston. He did not get moved up until after the Christmas crossover, when he had a great performance against Anthony Edwards, and then Elkins backdoored and played Anthony Edwards and lost. So at that point, it kind of, hey, boom, all right, well, let's get here. And I think that's what people just want to see more of, is kids actually getting validated for the truth. Like, for the truth, not because you play with this certain AAU program, not because, this guy, he coached you in the 8th grade. We want to be able to really give real evaluation. And that's why I applaud G-Day. Like, he went with us to Kentucky. That helped certain kids on our team get looked at on a national level and be able to have someone from our city to give an evaluation to go back to the city with. Because I believe if we didn't have someone from the city with us, people would have been like, man, it ain't no real competition up there. But G-Day was recording different games. You had JL3, you had 3 Empire. So it helped. And I wish more kids did get that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do. But I also think the other issue is that we got to get rid of the watered down bullshit. Excuse my language. Well, we got a lot of kids playing for a lot of watered down situations where it's really not helping the kids on the right stages. And we need to be honest about that as well, because we are hurting a lot of kids for getting correct evaluations because people are not putting the kids in the right position, in the right stage to be seen as well. You know what I'm saying? I think that's another thing we need to get better with. And we also need to, make it about the kids. You know what I'm saying? Because the goal is to try to get as many kids in the city of Houston in college. D1, D2, D3, NAIA, whatever. But I'm also with you too, Rob. You tell a kid he NAIA or he D3, he like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. Hold on. You get a JUCO to call him. Nah, I ain't trying to go JUCO. Bro, try to go play college basketball. And I think that's the other perception that we got to get better with too, is that when we're trying to help kids, people need to stop taking it personal. Like, it ain't personal. We're not downgrading your kid. We're not trying to say your kid's not good enough. I was always taught, whatever your value is out in the streets, that's your face value. So if only junior college coaches are calling the different evaluators in the city, then that's what they see you at. If D3 is calling the different evaluations in the city, that's what they see you at. If D's like, you just got, that's it is what it is. That's just, and I think that's where the problem is for a lot of people, is they don't want to understand what a true evaluation is. Instead of keep trying to blame it on us, when it's really not us. You know what I'm saying? Like we're trying to do our best at the end of the day, but we cannot control another man's opinion or what they think. That's just a truthful fact. We can't. So
G-Day?
Y'all, you said a lot. No, and so I want to go first to Mr. Yates' question. You know, when he says what percent of rankings are based on potential and what percent are based on play. And so for every person, it's like Ant was kind of saying, for every person, it's different. So some people hold potential higher than your performance right now, and then some people hold your performance right now higher than your potential. It's hard to determine somebody's true potential because, as Ant just said, and I've seen this over and over and over again, kids can be really, really good, like talking about eighth grade, ninth grade year, like heads above everybody. But as it progresses, other kids get better. And so a lot of times, some people, they kind of still are stuck on the potential, what they thought the potential should have been of that kid, and still think that that kid can still tap into that potential. That's why it's difficult because you honestly can't say potential, what their potential is. And then that's why a lot of people use likeness a lot. I try to use college likeness over NBA likeness, but NBA likeness always comes to the forefront for everybody. So people will be like, oh man, he got a game like um a Sam Cassell, or he got a game like whoever it is. I'm trying not to use big names. Um, and so but me, I'll be like, man, he reminds me of a Kerry Kittles at Villanova. You know, that's what me. Oh, he reminds me of Adam Morrison when he was at Gonzaga. You know, that's how I do it that way. And so it's different for every single person. And so I can't tell you what everybody's formula is when it comes to rankings because I'm not in their heads. I'm not in their minds. Um, I'm just it just is it's tough. You know, Willis was saying rankings don't matter. Um, I want to say rankings matter to college coaches, but rankings don't define you as a player. I
facts.
want to word it that way.
Facts. There you go. There you go.
It
You know
does
me.
a
Facts. There
ranking
you
does
go.
not define you, and once again, we seen that lots of times. Um, everybody always use Steph Curry for example. I don't know what he was ranked within his state, but I know nationally he wasn't a top 150 kid nationally. Um, he was never on nobody's top 150 list. If you go back, if you they don't have it no more on ESPN, but like a couple years, you can go back to when he was in high school on ESPN, and you can go through like by position. So they do like the top 25 for each position, and so he wasn't in that for the point guards. He wasn't in top 25 in high school. He wasn't considered to be a top 25 point guard in the country. He wasn't considered to be a top 25 shooting guard in the country when he was in high school. But he went to a small school, went to Davidson in North Carolina. He went in, he put in work, and he continues to work. He doesn't stop. He hasn't stopped working because he knows in order to maintain that level, there's a certain type of work ethic that I must have. And so, once again, don't let the rankings define who you are as a player, and don't let what level is recruiting you define you either. Because, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but there are a lot of dudes that play D2.
A lot.
There's a lot. There's some goons that play Division 3 basketball, and some goons that play NAIA basketball. But trust and believe, there's guys from each one of those levels who go overseas every year and walk away with a 6-figure contract. A lot of people who are playing Division 1 basketball have their dreams and goals set so high up on the NBA that they even miss out because they get, as Mr. White said, they get outworked because those guys at the NAIA D3, D2 levels, they're really hungry. and they're still trying to chase after this goal. And when that opportunity comes for them to be able to go overseas, and they're making six figures a year, and there was a kid that, and they may have been ranked 35th in their city, or 35th in the state, or whatever it is, and then there's another kid who was ranked top five in the city, or top five in his state, and he went to a Power Five school, and now he's somewhere pushing papers behind the desk, making $50,000, and I'm overseas making $750,000, still doing what I
Facts.
love. And I went to an NAIA school, or I went to a Division 3 school, or I went to a Division 2 school. And so don't let these things define your game. You just have to work, regardless of who is saying what. You have to work, and you have to be able to take the good and the bad. And that's what we was talking about earlier. Just praising the scores, just praising the scores. But then when it's time to come down on you, or when someone says something has a negative, condescending tone, that doesn't mean, oh, this person doesn't like me anymore, or oh man, now he's a hater. No, that's called constructive criticism. You know what? You're right. I did have a horrible game. I played bad basketball for the last couple of games. I didn't play good at all. And so I need to get back, and I need to go to work. I need to work. And so a lot of people aren't willing to do that. And then to answer your question, Rob, as far as the whole Yuri thing, people tell him to stop all the time. And so he's not going to change who he is as a person. Um, that's like you going out to California, and every year you in the helicopter, and you dropping water and salt down to put out the forest fires. And it just every single year you doing the same thing over and over again. You keep dropping the water, you keep dropping the salt, but every year forest fires start. And so it's just something that I feel is never gonna end.
When are we going to turn a deaf ear to him? Why do people still recognize what he said? This my whole thing. This my whole thing. This my whole thing. If I say something right now about one of his players, right? Because I've had discussions in private with you about his team, and I'm not the biggest fan of I will say some people on his team, right? But if I went on Twitter and wrote, "Oh man, I'm gonna just use Luke Burton because I know Luke Burton feathers ain't gonna get ruffled. That's my guy." If I just went on there and write, "Oh man, y'all know we talking about the Houston Superstars. Luke Burton really ain't that good. He just a athletic white guy that ain't really we seen. They come a dime a dozen." Then what would be the narrative? But he gets a pass every single time to talk about people's kids. You're talking about someone's kids, man.
Well, I mean, you can talk about PJ Hagley.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm not gonna say anything about him.
I can.
I'm gonna say this, Rob. He hasn't talked about the wrong person's kid yet.
Oh,
With that,
hold.
No.
He haven't mentioned because the team he was talking about, it's a dude. It's
oh yeah.
It's
You're
somebody appearing on that team. I'm gonna say this tactfully, so names will never be known. It's a parent on the team of the picture that he posted that if he said this individual child's name, he would probably be upside a wall in the back of the gym somewhere, and it would probably take about 7 grown men to pry that parent's hands away from his neck. So
that's what I'm saying.
He creeping up on it.
That's why I said he hasn't attacked the right individual, not group. He hasn't attacked the right individual yet.
Facts. Facts. Because
that's all it is, right? It's just
that's it. That's all it is.
Everybody's skin is different, and so it ain't been that right person yet. When he does, you would know.
We all would know. But Gina, you made a very great point that I think some people need to understand is that about like evaluating kids to like NBA guys and college guys. I think the truthful thing is, and I think Mr. Deuce said it, he says so many influencers don't know how to prepare players and parents for the college coach evaluation. And the reason why I say that is it's true because I think a lot of parents and players don't really like. We say this all the time, but I really don't think people understand the difference between D3, D2, D1, NI, JUCO. And the reason why I say that is if you go and look at St. Thomas, you go look at Rice, you go look at U of H, you go look at TSU, you know, and go just a little bit down the street, PV or maybe Sam, you'll see a difference. And the reason why I say that is there's some kids at St. Thomas who were highly ranked Houston players and are playing D3. Some of them played NAIA when St. Thomas was NAIA, and they were killing dudes. And that's the thing that sometimes I don't think people really understand the true evaluation, because all we think about is just the NBA. Instead of realizing, like, gee, that you watch college basketball. You said it yourself. You really don't care for the NBA game. So your evaluation to a player is different. It's like me, when me and you talk, you know, I don't really care for potential. I like the play. Like right now, when I see you play, like if I go watch PJ Hagley play, I don't like his game because he takes too many shots and he's not efficient. That's just me. But he's a great scorer. If you want to talk about pro level, you know, being great. But when you think about efficiency, when you get to the college level, you're not going to get 30, 20-some shots to shoot the ball. So when you look at guys like that, and then you take a Jordan Williams, who has been scoring 20-some points at his school with less than 20 shots, putting up almost 8 or 9, 10 rebounds, you know, 8 or 9, 10 assists with guys who are really not, you know, he done got high-level players at Second Baptist, things like that, and doing also playing defense, getting steals, 3-4 steals a game, then that's when I do speak upon, regardless if I've ever trained a kid or if that is my guy. If he wasn't my guy, I still would grade the difference of basketball. What can you do on the court that's going to help your team win? And that was one of the things I talked to you about, Rob. I talked to Jida about a lot of times. Like when I look at the rankings, I get upset not because of guys who I may think are better. It's just when I go evaluate certain guys and I look and I'm like, okay, let me watch. Does this translate to college basketball? Does this translate to the next level for them to be, you know, productive when they not going to get that many opportunities, or they may not be the main guy? So for me, I just really think that's a problem for me, because we have to get better with evaluating kids on stuff that will matter at every level.
I ain't answering that question. No comment. No
comment.
comment.
Eventually learn that he has. I mean, no, because I think ultimately, I think that his game is his game, and he's good at it. That's fine. I'm not saying at the end of the day, you can't. 30 points is 30 points. How many? It's still hard to do, regardless. But it's going to be one of those things that, I mean, I'm with you, Rob, but what I'm saying is, if you take, okay, if we take James Harden, okay, let's take James Harden. I'm going to take a pro guy. If you go back and look at games where he scored 50-some points and look at how many shots he took, how many free throws he took, you're going to see that sometimes when he got over 30, he got like 18 points on free throws. Kobe used to do that. Kobe used to go to the free throw line when he had 30, 40 points. He would shoot almost 18 free throws a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. That's why KD is so good at scoring, because he don't like he can hit shots. That's the thing. Real question.
I ain't answering that question. No comment.
Rob, answer the question, baby. Like, bro,
nah, because I don't got time. Nah, because
Come on, man.
Nah, they kill me. Nah, they kill me.
I'm with you. Hey, let's go. I'm with you. Hey, they can kill me too, Rob. I'm with you.
They kill me.
No,
with that, man.
No, for me it doesn't. And that's just me. I'm gonna
kill me with that, man.
For me, it doesn't. I don't think it translates in a college game. Me, it doesn't. Because when you start looking at a lot of the guys, let's go watch Baylor. Let's put Baylor out there. Look at their 2 starting point guards. Those guys were efficient from the field, and they played defense efficiently. They were locking dudes up. They were locking up dudes dudes against Gonzaga, and they were benefiting from outside. And the thing, when you look at Baylor, they had 3 guys who probably were ranked nationally at their high schools. And they come to Baylor and they got to share. They got to share. So for me, I think ultimately, let's just be real. Does it translate? It depends on what level he wants to go to. It depends on what level. If he goes to a small school that's looking for a guy to score, put them on their back and things like that, yes. But if he's trying to go big, high major, where there's going to be other guys coming in, nationally ranked players who going to get touches and you're going to have to play with, no. And that's just real. I mean, again, it's nothing wrong with being transparent, bro. Like, I hate that people get mad when we make real. You want us to evaluate, let's evaluate. Like, that's just what it is. Like, you know, I'm tired of that because we ain't trying to bash a kid. We didn't say he's not good enough. We're not saying that he not a good player. We're just saying there's things that he got to work on to get better at. And I'm not just bashing that kid because we talking about John Yeary. I'm talking about there's a lot of kids that, especially in 2022, that got a lot of things they got to work on at the next level. It's kids in Houston that got to work on things to get better at the next level.
Hey, put the next comment up. What I know who this is, right? I'm cool with them. What do that mean though? Like, what do that mean? Like, this is why I get frustrated, right? Because I've had these conversations in private. So we talk about the NBA. Let's go all the way to the NBA. So back in the day, before these huge $100 million, $200 million contracts started coming out, it was about winning a championship, right? You wanted to win to solidify your legacy. Now you got people, Gita, you know who I'm talking about, who would tell me, man, I don't care about winning, just give me it. Did I make $100 million? Man, that's all I care about. Like, so that mentality, it starts to show in your game. Like, you lost, right? But the first thing come out your mouth is, man, I had 50. But you lost though, bro. Like, who was that had the set? When Devin Booker scored the 70 points or whatever against the Celtics, or with the 60, whatever he scored, they was walking around celebrating like they won. Bro, you lost the game, bro. So it's like we've turned, like, you can't tell the truth no more because the word truth turned into hating. It's not about winning no more. It's about how many points you score, did you look good, and how much money you got. So it's like we changing the whole narrative of basketball. Like, that's why I be like, no comment and stuff. Because all they gonna say is, and we being real, right, Ed? We being real.
Yeah.
This is the first thing they gonna say. And G-Day can back me up because he done seen the text message and heard the conversation. They gonna say, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a real scout and evaluator. I ride Marcus Sloan and G-Day coattail. The only reason why I'm relevant because I jumped on the show. All these are facts. I don't know no college coaches. This is all the stuff they say to discredit me.
But Rob, they get on me. They don't want me to evaluate because I coach AAU. I own my own company. I use G-Day to get kids on my team. Rob, I don't care. If anybody who really knows me, I talk about everybody kid. I talk about kids who didn't want to play for me. I still go and say, hey, good game. It is what it is. But the biggest thing is the reason why I bring up the PJ Hagley situation, and since he want to say he wake up and get 30, the reason why I brought it up is really not, again, PJ Hagley is a good player. Is to go back to what I said earlier. If people went and watched kids as much as we do, they would know Joy Williams had over 10 games this year, over 30-some points a game. They would know that. With 30-some points a game, plus 8 or 9 assists, plus 8 or 9 rebounds and 3 steals. Multiple games. But they don't know that because they're not going to watch Second Baptist. But then this is what they're going to say. Oh, well, he didn't play nobody. He didn't play against nobody. And again, I'm only bringing that up to say these people really don't go out and watch all these kids, the ones who talk about the rankings and this and that. It doesn't matter. The people who really know what's going on know the kids and know what they really truly capable of doing. And at the end of the day, to me, PJ Hagley and Jordan are good players. Like he said, they're good players. They both are good players. My whole thing is that when you said what you said about like John Uri saying stuff, that's true. It's one of those things that we got to stop bashing other kids for stuff when if you pay attention, that kid is really doing something. He's doing things that are at a high level. And just give respect. Don't bash another kid so another kid look good. Let's just push both in the front. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, we're going to see who the better player when it comes down to it. It's just that simple.
At the end when it's all said and done.
That's what it comes down to.
I just want to say this right now.
Is he talking about Jordan, the high school Jordan, or Jordan, the NBA Jordan?
No, he's talking about Jordan. He's talking about Jordan Williams.
Oh, okay. Hey, I just had to. I want to know because if he was saying like Michael Jordan, I was going to go on a tangent.
No.
Right.
And I wanted to T-Sharp. I mean, John. The reason why I say John Uri because we and I'm responding to some that my boy put on here in the comments. John Uri is supposed to be one of the pioneers of this, right? So he should know how to conduct himself in a business-like fashion. So if you are the CEO of an entity, you shouldn't be coming out bashing whole organizations of kids. Because then if someone turned around and said something about a kid in your organization, you would say that. Or if they brought up something that you did in your past in the early 2000s, you would be mad about that. Or why you bringing that up? Why you saying this? Why you saying that? That's old. But that's childlike and petty for him to be talking about. He don't want that smoke, man.
Hey, DJ already said it on Twitter. He said, hey, if we get that game, he ain't gonna want to see them boys. He is not gonna want to see them.
and I just wanted to say this. I don't like the rankings right now. I not do rankings. I do not like the 2022 rankings right now. I don't. I don't like our rankings. I don't like RCS ranking. And there's no disrespect to the time and effort that has been put into the rankings from anybody. I don't like the rankings right now. I don't. And I actually talk to the kid who's number one, and I've never talked to the kid who's number two. I've been in the gym with the kid multiple times. I've never uttered one word to the kid. Don't talk to him. But I still think he should be number one. That's just my opinion. So, for what it's worth, man, but
who number two?
We know who number two is.
Who?
Bryce Griggs. As far as the city goes, the city says he's number two. But the number one kid ain't ranked nationally, though. So,
who's number one?
He's not ranked nationally on ESPN.
Okay, what's the biggest entity of national rankings, though?
ESPN.
But who's number one?
Should he be?
Who's number one?
Should he be?
No, who's number one?
We know who is number one.
Who's number one?
Say it.
Hey, no, I want you to say it. I want you to put respect on it. I want you to put respect on it. That's what I want you to do.
Hold on. Put that. Now we got everybody. See, this is why I don't say nothing. This is exactly why I don't say nothing. Now Jalen saying that's some BS. How? Terrence Arsenault is my guy. I talked to Terrence. How? I said Terrence Arsenault should have been number one when Bryce came. See, all y'all new people who just now tuning in, if y'all go back a year ago, when Bryce came back to the city from California, I said, are we doing Terrence Arsenault a disservice by moving him to number two just because Bryce Griggs came back? Did I not say this, G-Day? I said this on camera.
I was on there.
Yeah, I was on there. But I just don't. But
hey, okay, but the one thing I'm gonna give respect when it's due is that was the key thing you said. Did we show him disservice? And what he did was come back the next year and show everybody we did because he went undefeated and he won a state title. So at that point, you go undefeated, you win a state title, you hit the game winners to win. At that point, bro, the dude's number one, bro. That's just what it is. I mean, hey, bro, he earned it. That's just what it is. And if we're gonna say we're gonna use the two things everybody talked about right now, his play showed, and when you go off of potential, he's a 6'6" kid, 6'7" kid who can play multiple positions. So if we're going off of play right now, he showed his play right now. And if we're going to go off of potential, he has more of higher potential because of his size and being able to play more than one position. He can guard more than one position. I mean, what else are we looking for? I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, and if you want to say the other thing, from when Bryce Griggs was a freshman, sophomore, junior, and Terrence as a freshman, sophomore, junior, Terrence Arsenal has improved every year. Every year. So again, that's all the stuff we ain't talked about. And he's all the three checks. He check. So hey, man, it is what it is, bro. Like, hey, it is what it is.
She said, "Let the kid." Nah, Miss Williams, we ain't letting the kids run. I don't know.
Why not?
You said why not?
Yeah.
Why so?
Because they play against each other, and most of them respect each other's game. Okay, I'll put it this way: basketball kids today is different than when we play. So we all grew up pretty much same era. If y'all used to bust my head, I'm not. I don't like you for one. We not gonna be cool when I see you on the street. None of that stuff. And so today it's different. They cool with each other. They're all friends, and that is what it is. That's just the nature of how things have changed. And so I know that now they'll still be open and honest. Yes, there's still some kids that they don't like, but then there's other kids where they're like, yeah, he really is the best, or yeah, he really is here. He's really there. You know. But for me, if it was when we were kids, and if y'all want some kids who used to bust my head, I'm not ranking y'all because I don't like you because I can't beat you. But that's just a different type of competitive nature that we've had versus nowadays. So I wouldn't even mind a kid ranking each other. I mean because it's just different nowadays, man. They all friends. They all cool with each other.
Oh boy.
Just saying, you don't think it's different?
No, it's watered down nowadays. And
not just that, but we talked about this before. We used to walk around with hoop shorts on underneath our pants.
Yeah.
A hoop game can break out at any time, and guess what?
We ready.
Yeah,
we
mom,
ready.
like, why are you wearing hoop shorts and jeans? Hey, I gotta be ready because if they talking about let's go play basketball, boom, I'm ready. I ain't gotta let me run by the house, let me get changed, or hey, nah, it's too hot outside. Let's go to a light. We ain't had no lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? Like we at the park, we finna get down. Just was different.
Different eras, though. Yeah.
That's cool. Sorry, man. Sorry, Rob.
I mean,
no, it's more when you say you don't want to say that. That's what I get what you're saying, but I don't.
Yeah,
care.
they don't kill me, bro.
Don't care.
Kill me.
All right, listen. This the good thing. Hey, Rob, this the good thing. I ain't in none of them group texts. I don't care. I don't text none of them, so they can talk about me all day. Hey, I don't care because I ain't in none of that because I don't care. So, I'm cool. We're going to get to it.
Ever.
That's true. Ever. That's true.
Ever.
That's what I'm saying. Is they ain't never played no park, man. Like a lot of kids don't even know what 21 is.
Nope.
All they know is King of the Hill.
Yep.
They ain't playing 21. They ain't playing no 32s. You ain't got to worry about being quadruple team because you got 19 points and you finna go out. And so everybody at the park trying to guard you. that made your handles. That made your handles better, man. You had to cross up 10, 11 guys just to try to go get a bucket.
Yes, sir.
But hey, we showing that's showing our age, man.
Shit.
Facts. Facts. Facts.
That's showing our age. But next up, man, we got what you talking about. Willis finna come up. Then after that, we're gonna get into just some overall stuff from this weekend, with some hoops that happened, man.
That him! What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis?
What's good, words? Coach Anthony Willis, and I'm here back again with what you're talking about, Willis. It's been a couple weeks since we've been on. The good thing is my boy Rob kind of helped me introduce, what I was going to talk about today, and it's just going to make it easier on, the conversation we'll have with everybody. I want to talk about self-evaluate. Just real quick, self-evaluate means to evaluate oneself or one's action or performance. The reason why I want to talk about that today is because, when we talk about different things with the kids today, and we talk about rankings and things and stuff like that, I feel like one thing we got to get better with is self-evaluating ourselves, especially parents with their kids and what true level that they're really on. I think because a lot of days we're starting to hurt a lot of kids with playing basketball and trying to get to the next level because we're not being honest with our kids and being honest with ourselves as parents and players on how to get better each year, the things you need to work on. When someone comes and tell you something that you need to work on and that they're giving you their honest opinion and not just trying to bash you, take that and look at yourself in the mirror and try to get better. Because, with this year, this summer, the transfer portal being at its highest, and I think a lot of kids, over the last couple of years have made different decisions on schools and things like that they didn't really evaluate themselves on where they really need to go. I think they allowed themselves to fall into that trap of the hype and really not self-evaluate themselves each year and getting better, where they're transferred to 3-4 different schools since they've been in college, where each year they're going somewhere else, and they started high and they're going down, or maybe that's where they should have started at from the start. And I think if we get better with just self-evaluating, then we won't get upset with so much of these rankings and things like that, because we will be honest with our kids and ourselves as parents on what each kid really need to get better at. And the main things, like we said earlier, just continue to work. Just continue to work and work and work and work. So I think that's one of the things we really, really need to just start, I think, speaking more about is just teaching kids and parents the true meaning of self-evaluation. And I think once you really get evaluated, then you won't be surprised what certain people say, because you've already self-evaluated yourself and to what the things you need to improve. Because I think that's something that kids are continue not to do, and parents are not being honest, where I think they just want what other people want instead of really self-evaluating and realizing that their kid may not be on that level. When we talking about parents want to play on elite teams and their kids are not elite, or they want to play on shoe company teams and they're not worthy of that position, of that spot on that team. And it's just being real with yourself when your kid really, really, falls at his evaluation. And sometimes we just got to do it ourselves. So I just think, the word, I want to just talk and preach for everybody says self-evaluation.
No, I'm with you on the self-evaluation, but and I hate to say but because that's the conjunction. A lot of people are kind of okay. So you used to watch American Idol, right?
Yeah.
Most people did when they first. This the first part, not the first. Where everybody think they can sing, and some people really think like they can sing, but they really can't sing.
Gotcha.
So it's a lot of parents who feel that way about their kids. Like, my son really can play, even though he ain't there. He ain't there, but they feel that he can. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes self-evaluation sometimes self-evaluation can be tricky. It can be tough because not everybody they're honest about what they know. So
Okay, so I got a
it
question.
may they think
Okay,
hold on real quick. They think
go ahead.
because they some play on the same team or have played against another kid that they're just as good as that kid. And so for them, that self evaluation is if he's able to play with them or he's able to play against them, regardless of how he performs, he's just as good. Go ahead.
No, but that's the problem because you have to realize that and I like using grassroots more than um, high school basketball because I think sometimes in high school basketball, it just depends on how your coaches use you in that situation to help them win. I don't think it. I think that's high school basketball is about their coach winning and things like that. But when it comes to like AAU and you looking at certain kids and say you get an opportunity to play against that kid, if you get blown out by 20 or 30 points, then you shouldn't be saying you want to go to this school, this school, this school, this school, this school. You should realize where you really at. And then also sometimes, go look at what that level is. And then just be real with yourself because I think in singing, you can hear somebody sing and hear yourself sing. That's a difference of like, okay, if I can sing or not, because some people can hold a note, some people can like they can really sing. But when you go basketball and you see somebody play and you see what they're doing, you got to be real. I can't do that. Okay, I can't do that. Well, I can do that. Like you got to know. Oh, okay, well, I'm not that athletic. Or like you can see, like there's a mirror there. You can see and then look at yourself and improve. I think when it comes to like American Idol, I mean that's just. I think it's a different situation when you can't compare your singing to somebody else. You can see somebody sing and you could try to imitate what they're doing, but it's different, I think, from that standpoint of like self-evaluation, looking at yourself and really being truthful with yourself where you at. And I think one reason why I say that is because it's one of the things, again, like we just talked about, is what level should you go play college basketball on? Where should you really go? Instead of trying to reach so high. And like you said, it's some really good D2 guys. And you could probably go play on there and be more successful into getting what you want out of the situation. So,
When being recruited, you have to go where you're wanted.
exactly.
Not every coach who recruits you truly wants you. Some coaches will offer or recruit you as a counter offer to someone else within their own conference.
Don't tell them all that. Don't.
Hey.
You going too deep.
That-
You
all
going
right,
too deep.
that's
They're not
Hey,
gonna
but
believe.
it's true.
They're not gonna
Rob,
believe
you
you.
right.
Hey, it's
They're
true.
not gonna
It's true.
believe you. It's true,
It's
but
true.
they not gonna. And all people got to
You
do
right,
is
Rob.
pay
Give them too
attention.
much.
All people got to do, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but all people got to do is pay attention. So you get an offer from, let's say, I'm gonna just use a random school, Tulsa. Then all of a sudden, SMU offers you. Now Memphis offers you. Now Houston offers you. Now South Florida. Now the whole AAC offers you. But do they really want you, or do they not want you to come in their conference? Think they not gonna believe you, they. So that's why I said, don't tell them all that. They ain't gonna believe you. They think that college coaches are, they're gonna play my kid 30 minutes. He's gonna get 30 shots. We're gonna go to the tournament every year.
It's funny. I was just talking about that today.
That's why I tell people, if you don't want to know, and I guess that's why a lot of, I give credit to Mr. Williams, Jordan Williams' father, Jalen Johnson father. These are dudes I have conversations with continuously every time I see them. But when I say something that might be constructive criticism, they don't automatically say, "Oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know why I'm talking to you." You came to talk to me. I be in the gym watching. I might not tweet every time I'm in the gym, but I'll be watching. So I know. But I think that people have become and I say when we talk about this, I say this all the time. It's a microwave society, right? So I think that coaches, and I'm gonna speak on the grassroots issue. I think a lot of grassroots coaches be scared that when they finally get some form of talent, right, that if I tell the talent that they're not on a certain level that the talent thinks they're on, they're gonna automatically leave. So I'm gonna stroke their ego and tell them that Kentucky is recruiting them when really they get Division II offers.
Hold on, Rob. I thought you wasn't trying to step on ant bed so that you was no comment, Rob. But now you
we speaking.
Now you stepping on ant beds, Rob. What's it gonna be, man?
Because I'm not I don't want. Let me say this.
Rob,
I don't
want to hoodie, Rob. I
don't want to specifically talk about no kid because I don't want nobody walking in my face. I like to be professional when I go out. I don't want no confrontations.
Hey,
you
should have put the hoodie on today, Rob. But
this is the truth though. This is the truth. Like
White said, keep it 1,000.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of coaches, grassroots coaches, be scared that when they get some form of talent, if they don't stoke the talent ego, that the talent will just pack up and leave instead of being like, look, either you're gonna listen to what I say and trust what I got going on and ride with it, or you can walk out the door. They be so scared because we say we know okay. Let me say this: it's supposed to be about the kids, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
a lot of times it be about how many times can I get retweeted on Twitter with a trophy in my hand or a medal around my neck. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, or they get a school to throw an interest offer because they had a kid that went there the year before to try to keep that kid on their team. And we see kids post these offers, and then 2 years later, you be like, damn, didn't he have an offer from TCU? Didn't he have an offer from here? And he ain't got no offer. And it's like, dang, like I thought he had this offer. And it's bad because it happens a lot every year. And I think that's the other thing. We see a lot of kids on a lot of teams each year have certain offers that we come back around and ask them like, nah, he ain't got that offer no more. But dang, hold on, I thought he had an offer. And that's again, a lot of people don't understand that either.
And I will say this before we move on. That one, offers have expiration dates.
Ding, 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 ding.
Two, if you get an offer or post you get an offer, best believe I'm making some phone calls. I always do. I do. I'm calling the coaches, and they will tell me the truth. Now it's up to me if I explain the whole entire truth of what the offer really is. I'm not gonna do that, so I'll just be like, okay, he got an offer.
Hey guys,
Just saying, what's going on, man?
What's good, man? What's good?
That's why I wish people stop posting interest.
Yeah,
like put the thing up,
but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand the difference. Because there's some kids where a coach can just talk to them. I'm talking about like one conversation with a coach. Yep. Or find out that a college coach talked to their high school coach or to one of their grassroots coach. Just one conversation, and then all of a sudden they're posting, I got an offer. They're not educated.
Oh.
They're not. And then there's lots of kids. Baller Plug can attest to this because this is something that I do a lot. I'm gonna call the kid and the coach at the same time on the phone. And then there's lots of kids who don't even, for one, they don't know the coach. They don't know how the coach sounds, and then they don't even know how to talk to coaches.
You know what's a good indicator for me? When they tweet out the little PNG and stuff that they get off Safari for the college, like they have a picture of the university, a picture of somebody that plays there. and then the logo of the mascot with a blank PNG. I just be like, when they really want you, they send it to you in the email. That's a hint. They send you everything you need in the email. They send you an edit. You know how I know? Because we make them and we send them to the coaches, and the coaches send them to the kids. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Shout out Free K3.
Hey man, you got an offer and you want to know if it's
Hey
legit.
man,
Call a coach and try to commit and see what happens. If you got an offer and you want to know if it's legit, call the coach tonight or tomorrow or text the coach and say, Coach, you know what? Think about committing to your university. However you get that response back, they'll let you know right there where you sit at on that board. Oh yeah, that's what I said. That this is one when guy didn't know him from nobody. Man came talk to me. I told him the honest opinion. Didn't even know. We just talking. Told me who he was. And I'm not saying every parent got to be the same. But if somebody is, I don't have no dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe when my kids get older, I'm going to think they're the greatest basketball player in the world. But if somebody is out here trying to help you and give you information and understanding, take it, man. Don't just be like, ah, man, you hate it. Like I ask parents, I be asking kids about like in the high school season, like, man, what happened? I thought you were gonna make the playoff. The parent, oh man, don't do my baby like that. Don't do my baby. And I be wanting to say, well, they was projected to make the playoffs and they didn't go. So how am I doing your baby? But why unsigned kids with offers still playing 17U? See,
Bad advice. That's why, Mr. Dude.
you know what though? This the other thing that I forgot to talk about on Carol's Corner, and I apologize. It's been 2 weeks. I kind of agree with the kids on this one a little bit. If I wanted to say something about the college coaches too, college coaches got to start putting the trigger on kids and trusting their own eyes. College recruiting has a lot. I ain't gonna say all. A lot of college recruiting has become, and who else? Because that's the question they ask. Who else recruiting them? So you throw out an offer and you just expect the kid to just commit. I'm kind of with the kid like, dang, I've been playing this way for 3 years, but now such and such offer me now you want to come in too. Like, I get it. I see it from both sides now. I do.
Yeah, there's some programs that are strong on your kid and try to make you think like, hey, if I don't sign in the next 2 hours, they're gonna offer, little Timmy down the road, and I might miss my opportunity. It's a pressure game either way, but I don't think in this reference he was speaking about those kids. I think he was speaking about those kids that really wasn't gonna get much else and need to go ahead and make a decision now.
It's a lot of bad advice going on.
no, always it always will be. That's
Just to the end of time.
yeah.
So what I missed, guys?
Oh man, you gotta go back and rewatch the show, man.
Yeah, we stepped on a couple
No,
of
man, we do want to
MBS.
salute you. Before I get to this final segment, man. Know you was really busy this weekend, and you did a lot of work, a lot of streaming for the event for the MI3 showcase, man. And you was ribbing and running, and so I know you tired, man. Hey, it is what it is. As well as we didn't really get to talk about it, but your girls All Star event, man, it left an impression on a lot of people. Even though there was another All Star event for girls that went on this past Saturday. Um,
Shout out Greater Houston basketball coaches.
yeah, and shout out to the Houston Area Basketball Coach Association.
They had an All-Star game. Oh, it's tomorrow at Tuesday. The boys.
Yeah, the boys.
Yeah, we'll be there.
But
Huh?
You said you're gonna be streaming?
No. I said
no,
we'll be there.
Oh, okay. Turn up.
Texas Live got that, man.
Texas Live will be streaming tomorrow.
Yeah.
I guess Texas Live.
We'll just be watching.
Yeah.
It ain't no G Day and Willis though. Ain't no G Day and Willis live stream though. You know what I'm saying? Hottest live stream group in the city, baby. Probably in the state, baby.
Man, you
Talk
make it sound like we're an R&B group, man. He said live
Hey,
stream group, man.
hey, hey, we live, baby. We live. Me. Casey and JoJo at the Jodeci, baby. Hey, we still rocking, baby.
All right, grassroots talk, man. We missed 2 weeks, so I'm gonna jump backwards a little bit here. Um, this JL3 versus JH1 Elite. Hey, if you haven't, make sure y'all go over to YouTube, Ball So Hard TV. Really good game right here. Um, Leon Bond is tough. 6'5" guard out of Wisconsin. He has offers from a lot of different schools, and guess what? He's not playing on no shoe team. Um, and he was giving them the business. Um, hey, Big Vince has really stepped up his game as well. I like what I've seen from him. I can tell that out at La Lumiere Prep in Indiana, they've been really working with him a lot. More physical, he's stronger, better body, playing on the perimeter a lot more. And it also Terrence Arsenal is he plays solid. Bryce Griggs, Chris Johnson, 2023 uh, Sam Bradford, just to name a few of the Houston guys who were also featured in that video. So make sure that y'all go to YouTube, Bossa Hard TV. Make sure y'all check that game out. Also, make sure y'all check out this game as well. Uh, Mid Pro stands for Midwest Prospects, is the name of the team. Their 16U team took on Team Temple 16U. Tyshawn Archie, Houston's very, very own man. Hey, he went up there, made a name for himself the whole entire session. This is the first game where he kind of got things kicked off and kind of had a lot of different people watching him and watching his game play. Even had a couple of the shoe teams, um, you know, calling him Sharif, baby Sharif Cooper, because he was giving shoe teams the business. And that's who they reminded him. That's who to them, what his game reminded them of. Um, and so, just a lot of people from different states, from Ohio, from Georgia, from Illinois, was just praising him. Tyshawn Archer and his game, and then Ethan Kaiser, man. Willis said he looked like Jesus flying through the air every time he went up to a dunk. This is a kid. He's from a small town in Illinois. I know him and his parents very well. This is a program that I used to coach for as well. But back then they weren't called Midwest Prospects, and so like I linked Ant with their program director. Just network. A lot of networking went on this weekend in NY to LA. Not just basketball. It's not always about the wins. And so, yes, you know, Team Temple went down there. They took L's, but guess what? It's going to make them better overall, because at the end of the day, wins and trophies matter when you're in middle school. When you're a high school team, what matters is playing in front of the right people and playing highly exposure games and playing against great competition. That's what matters. And as long as you come out and compete. If you don't, if you're not coming out and competing, then you're wasting your time. Just is what it is. And then this weekend, you had Team CP3 come in town. Um, for the MI3 showcase, they took on the hoops. Once again, all these things that I'm showing you, you can find all these recaps. Ball So Hard TV on YouTube. CP3, they got the number 9 ranked point guard in the country. I mean, he's ranked number 9 in the country. Jaden Bradford. They also got Jalen Hood Scafino, ranked number 29th in the country. A dynamic backcourt. But guess what? Jordan Williams held number 0, which is Jordan Hood Scafino. He didn't score a single point when Jordan Williams was guarding him, and this kid's ranked 29th in the country. And then when Jordan matched up against Bradford, the kid who's ranked number 9 in the country, the number 1 point guard in the country, he only scored 4 points against Jordan Williams, and he was out there giving everybody else buckets in the business. And so, hey, once again, we just said we don't preach much, we don't talk much about kids who do well, who aren't scoring. But Jordan locked down two of the top guards in the country this weekend, and not a lot of people was talking about him, and he did. He locked them down. I video recap of it, as well as what I do is I go back and I take stats from matchups when certain people are guarding certain people from the raw footage, and that's what it was. And so once again, salute out to Jordan Williams. Amari Abrams was out there giving boys the business. Amari was giving people the business all weekend long. Another kid who doesn't get a lot of recognition, Amari Abrams, Summer Creek High School. He was putting in work. BB shot the ball well. Real quick, shout out to 15U Hoops as well, man. Um, I have yet to be able to film them, and I want to, but D King got them boys firing on all cylinders. I've seen Chris Hines tweeted out probably in the city they probably got 1 through 7. Like if we doing talking about rankings, ranked number 1 player, ranked number 7 player, then 1 through 7 all right there, all on the hoops 15. Really tough guard group. Man, I hate to give away stuff early, but I know when NY to LA roll around, man, it's a bunch of people requesting to play the hoops 15. A lot of shoot teams from around the country who's going to be coming down, and so hey, I'm not gonna say what the mattress is gonna be. I'm just gonna say, hey, y'all need to be in the building. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. And so, but hey, I'm as Rob say, I'm a Houstonian, so I'm rocking with the hoops, man. I'm rocking with the hoops, man. Those games are going to be fire for the 15U. But a lot of people are requesting to play the hoops 15U. A lot of different shoe teams, and they're coming down to Dallas May 21st through 23rd to the NY to LA Lone Star event. And hey, D King, everybody want to get a crack at y'all, man. Everybody hear about how tough them guards is you got, man, and so everybody want to get a crack at y'all, man. That's what it is. But this game right here, the 17th game, was lit fire. Y'all can go check that out as well. Ball So Hard TV, and then as well as Houston Defenders. Want to shout out their 16U as well because the Max Levels Elite, which Ant talked about earlier, they beat Hoop 16U. They beat them by 2. But then the Defenders turn around and beat Max Levels Elite by 30 points, but nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about how Houston Defenders 16U beat Max Levels by 30 points. Not saying that I'm not saying that that game versus the Hoops was a fluke game. Hey, it happens. Teams lose. It just is what it is. But it's what you do after the loss that matters. It's what you do after you lose the game. And so, but the Defenders turned around. 16s came in, and they put a whooping on them. So just want to shout out Coach Larry and those guys and the work that they put in against Max Levels. But this 17U game right here, Houston Defenders versus Rhode Island Elite, was another good game. Chancellor White showed his ability to be able to shoot contested shots, knock them down at a good rate, had a good feel for the game. He played really well, very poised, and it was just a good battle. Isaiah Miranda, a name to remember, 7'1", small forward, and he's only a sophomore. Just a name for people to remember. You could just tell he's still a little raw. And once somebody gets with him, and also he just needs a little discipline within his game, discipline mentally as well. Just somebody to set him down a little bit. A lot of the guys were talking about they remind him of I didn't get to see Mitchell Robinson when he played high school, and so that's what a lot of people were saying. His game is kind of like a Mitchell Robinson, except for he has a little bit better handle than he does. And so I didn't get to see Mitchell Robinson high school. And so, but that's what a lot of people were saying about him. And then, just go ahead and speak since we're speaking on Chancellor. Just show y'all. And so Chancellor shot the ball really well. For defenders, he is committed to Eastern Carolina University. So salute out to him and his parents and his family and all the work that they've been putting in and they continue to put in. And then also just got to show you one from NY to LA as well. And so that is G Day's grassroots recaps, man. Shout out to all the teams that did well this weekend, to all the kids who played well, despite, we had a lot of national players in attendance here this weekend at the MIT Showcase, and Houston players came out and they balled. So, with that being said, is is Houston not pushing the national narrative on their players enough?
Chancellor White shot the piss out the ball during that game.
I don't know
No,
too
he
much
did.
about national stuff, but I mean, I think again it's one of those things that I feel. Okay, let me ask you a question: how many guys in the city of Houston who evaluate is actually on a national like poll to rank players? I got you. How many guys?
On a
Mis-
national poll,
Mr.
Like that?
Day, Mr. Day count.
are there people?
Uh,
So
it's all
there's
about
people
who
who have
leave the city to go watch kids hoop, bro. Like,
No,
let's
I'm
just be
saying,
No,
but
that's not what he's talking about. That's not what he's talking
no,
about, Gary.
no.
He
I'm
talking about
saying
like who got influence with those people who sit in those positions to call
exactly.
and say, "Hey, you need to put this."
you don't need influence with them people. If you tell somebody that somebody is good, it don't matter what those people say. Like, I get what you're saying, but you really don't. I get it. Mr. Day can go hit up Paul B and Cardi, right? But Mr. Day is just as valid as Paul B and Cardi. So why do we need somebody cool with somebody on a national basis to push kids nationally when we just need to say, nah, this kid is
Cause,
nationally
Because
cause
none
considered.
of
that's
us
how
do.
it, cause
Because
that's how it go.
so we can. That's
You
how. I
gotta
mean,
you gotta stop. We gotta stop believing in that mold. Things evolve. Like we
but
Things have an
evolve.
order though. It's a
but
system that
yeah,
things work in though.
I have to say,
You can't just hop up and say, "Hey Rob, now you get to tell me who a national." It don't work like that,
I didn't.
Gary.
But Rob, you put in the work. So if you tell me a kid is national, then I'm gonna believe you because I know you put in the work and that's your work. If Mr. Day, Mr. Day put me on my man from Mac Irvin, that played with Sam. What's his name? That's going to the G League.
he
He
played.
just
Yeah,
he just committed to the G League.
Oh, you talking about
Swole brother.
what's the kid? The kid that played in the Arizona. He had Florida State, Georgia. Uh,
Michael Foster.
Michael
yeah,
Fox, right? So
yeah.
we
Yeah,
watching the EYBL. Mr. Day say, "Oh, he tough." Well, ever since that day, he been tough. Well, then guess what? That kid's a national kid. Like, bro, sometimes it don't have to be overthought or ran through proper protocols. Like, I get it. You can't just be some kook screaming at the mountain. Oh my guy's number one. I get his protocol, but we ain't gotta go
But we said,
no time by nobody else.
but I think what G saying is like right now, if you go and look at the national rankings, like I think I called you today about that. I think when I was like, Tyler Smith is ranked nationally, top 10. And I was asking him like how many kids get ranked nationally. He broke it down to me, it's like top 75 for this, top 40, top 25 for this. And I asked some questions like, like Chris Johnson just now hit that level. And then I asked him about like guys like Wesley Yates and other things like that of why are they not nationally ranked? Like we may feel that they are nationally players, why did Tyler Smith not get a Team USA invite? You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. It's those things that we may feel a certain way about, but the powers that be are making certain decisions that what he's saying is how do we influence that? Like how do we get more guys nationally ranked, especially in Houston, since we got a lot of good kids in Houston. And I think we beat up on each other so much and we talk down on each other so much. Like Mr. Dude said, it's so much, division between the locals and trying to help kids is that we kind of hurting ourselves in certain ways where we agree, like on here, us four, we agree a lot of the times who we think a good player. But there's some people may think that said, hey, G-Dot, you're not a real media guy. Rob don't know what he's talking about. Anthony is a coach. Jeffrey Day is not from Houston. Why we keep letting people from Houston come in, not from Houston come in and run stuff? Again, it's one of those situations where it's those type of things where I think if we realize and make it about the kids and really give true evaluations and not make it about the money or make it about credibility or I want to do this so I can get some credit for this kid, I think it'll be better off because I think we do have a lot of talent in Houston that we do not get evaluated nationally as much as we should.
Well, first of all, whoever says that, who's listening to them anyway? First of all, like a lot of people be having opinions with no power behind the opinions in the first place and just be loud. But one thing with let's just look at the Tyler path, for example, right? Didn't Tyler and Jacob go to the CP3 camp?
Yeah.
So my and correct me if I'm wrong. My method of thinking is it's really all about who your kid has, pushing them and the opportunities that they're to be seen, right? So I know Team Griffin did a great job of promoting Tyler Smith. Not saying that Rossi and BU didn't because he was there first, but it's all about really, in my opinion, did you get to play at those top major events? Tyler you get to get looked at CP3, the John Lucas Top 160. You get to go to Pangos, and you're evaluated by national evaluators. If you don't make those top 30, top 25 games and all of that, you're really not in the conversation, right? So I think it's a lot to go with the process of where you put your kids and have your kids compete. Like Mr. Day, what's something as good as the CP3 camp? Wooden camp was just this year. I don't think that really can count. But like, what other camps you got besides CP3 and JLE Top 160?
For like middle school kids?
No, where national kids come and national evaluators come and they could evaluate you in an open setting.
I mean, yeah, for like middle school kids, none. That's pretty much it. I mean, you still got like your middle school hoops TV camp, middle school elite.
Yeah, that's the MSH, right?
Yeah, MSH TV. Yeah.
So that 9th grade year, when you're finally able to go to the high school things, what would be the high school events? Say we all had a 9th grader, right?
Pangos. You at least want to go to Pangos, South. You if you can get an invitation to John Lucas, you get an invitation to John Lucas. But not every. But there's still some kids who may be good enough, but they just don't get those invites.
And that might be the thing. Maybe we need to afford these kids some of these opportunities so they can get a national look. That might be a legit conversation that we just brought up because I get what y'all saying. Like Houston is good enough where we beat up on each other. Rob's a wild boy.
Hey, he
Houston,
right though.
Houston is good enough to beat up on each other, and then all of a sudden you got to pick up the pieces out of the wreckage. So I get that. But I mean, if you think your kid is on the national level, go clean up those regional and local invites and combines. And I promise you, like Ryan Orgawal, if I didn't see him at Pangos hit 6 threes on me coaching against him, I wouldn't have been a believer. That kid bust my ass. I saw it with my eyes. And then all of a sudden now he's at Stanford. It's a process.
It is. It
It's
is.
a
And at the same
process.
time,
Everybody process not the same.
yep. And at the same time, every kid's not a good camper either, though.
You man, cause those camps are brutal. You
Yeah.
playing with kids that don't want to give you the ball. Like
Mhm.
you're not made to look good at these camps.
Yep. Some kids play better in system, so it's it's tough and it's different. But I just feel that we should push more of a national narrative with our kids. Just and I'm not saying they have to get nationally ranked, but just to draw more attention, back this way. And so I can say this, like when I'm gonna start with Louisville. When I went to Louisville, there were a lot of guys there following teams from their areas, like scouts, um, media people was following teams from wherever they was from. So wherever they were from, they had people there with their teams, pushing, pumping, regardless win, loss. Yeah, so keep doing that. Regardless, wins, loss, people were there pumping. Hey, this weekend you had the Hoop State people from North Carolina. They came down. They pumping CP3,
Bruh.
regardless, regardless how they doing, pumping, pumping them, pumping them. Regardless how they doing. And so it has to be. And Rob, this is what we were talking about earlier. And people was bashing you because you went and you worked and you was pumping the defenders because you were paid to be. And guess what? These guys are paid. They are paid to come. It just is what it is. Guess what? I'm paid to come shoot videos for your kids. So if the package is every single player gets their own highlight package, you get a team mix, team recap, whatever. Boom. I'm there to provide the media service for you. And guess what? Media is mass communication. That's what the definition of media
Bro,
is.
Mr. Dave, stop preaching to
Mass
these people, bro.
communication. Media, a scout is not necessarily media. Evaluator is not necessarily media because guess what? As a scout, I don't have to give you a report. As an evaluator, I don't have to give you a report. So if I'm not reporting anything and I'm not producing anything on a mass scale, guess what? I'm not media.
Man,
But
that's a scout running around Houston now. Oh man.
But if
Oh.
I am, then I am considered media. So if I'm producing something that everybody can see and you're getting hundreds of views, likes, clicks, whatever it is, guess what? Then that is considered to be a form of media. It just is what it is. And so these teams have media set up with them. They go with them, they travel with them, and they pump their kids. They pump them. They tag in everybody the Bossies, the Biancardis, they tagging them all. And that's what we have to do. We have to they're getting behind their players, regardless. Good, horrible, they painting. It's about painting a narrative. It's the same thing that I tell parents when they come to me asking about mixes when their kids don't have offers or are not getting any type of looks. It's my job to paint the narrative. Now, once the narrative is painted, it's up to the coach if he's going to bite or not. That's it. And so the same thing. If we're pushing, 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 we're painting the narrative. Now it draws attention, so now they have to pay attention, and then it's up to them to bite or not to bite. It's just like when you. I'm not a big fisher, but when you go fishing, you just can't sit out there and just throw your reel out there and and if you don't get a bite, just continue, just leave your pole out there. Guess what? Because them fish may be nibbling on the worm or nibbling on whatever it is that you're using as bait, and they may not take the whole entire bait, but they nibbling on it. But if the right one comes along, and after that nibble, if it's good enough, I'm gonna try to take the whole thing. Either your pole gonna get pulled in the water, or you gonna snag them, hook, reel him in. That's how it goes.
I got one for you, Mr. Dave. The Hoop Nation guys, Miles Massacola. So it'll be something coming out in a couple of days. But they were oozing over Jordan Williams. They
Yeah, a
loved him.
lot of different kids, yeah, from Houston. They
Boy,
talking to me about Amari too. They're like,
Amari
man, this kid, yeah.
loved them. We can't get two people to tweet about kids down here in Houston. Meanwhile, people from other states be like, man, y'all got this in y'all backyard. And it's just like, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro, because it's a gauntlet to get out of Houston with your dreams. But then when you go somewhere else, you be like, dang, I really get the love for the work that I put into my craft.
And then
Very
people,
true.
and then people
Very
always be
true.
like, and then people was like, man, why why you go out of town, um, with Team Temple? It wasn't just
Because they
because
ooh,
it it wasn't right, and so it wasn't just because of a service.
shit. It's
I
not
could have stayed here. I could have stayed here and it probably made double. It wasn't because of that. It was because guess what? I was going to get to see people who I've known, relationships that I've built throughout the years. And guess what? Now, guess what I get to do? Now I get to do what I like to do. I get to play middleman. Hey, introduce you to him. Hey, introduce you to him. Hey, introduce you to him. And then I get to lay eyes on other kids. I can't give a real evaluation unless I know what everybody else is looking like. Because when you see the same kids over and over and over again, all you start to pick at is nothing but the negatives, nothing but the negatives, nothing but the negatives. You don't even see the
Okay,
positive.
let me stop you right. Let me stop you right there. Then let me ask you a question. Then is
Go ahead,
that
man.
why? Because I'm disagreeing with y'all three on this one. And I'm gonna
You
tell you
can
why.
disagree all you want.
I feel like what you just said is the reason why people don't pump kids like that from the city because they see them all the time. So if like prime example, they probably got some kids in North Carolina that will go to North Carolina and be like, "Oh man, they ain't talking about you." But the powers that be probably seen them 80 times in high school. So you come to a new city.
Oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. Go.
That's
No.
why. Well, one day next time we get on, I'm gonna have my I'm gonna have my screenshot my list of games that I went to. That's why you don't go to the same games over and over again. Houston has Houston has over 200 high schools. You don't have to go to the same games over and over and over again. You can't say that you've seen everybody. You can at least say that I've seen at least every kid at least once.
bro. A parent got mad at me because I told them, man, I saw your kid play 3 times. I gotta go see somebody else. They looked at me like I was crazy. I say, dog, and they didn't play bad, but it's just like, how many times you want me to watch your kid? Development don't happen
Go ahead, Rob. Keep playing. Keep this.
No, I just feel like, and I mean, you talk about this a lot. I feel like, why do we, and I'm speaking we, Houston, why we gotta be like somebody else? We got our own identity, bro. Like we got enough kids.
Rob,
Every
stop that,
kid.
dog. Stop that.
No, I'm not
Hold
gonna
on,
stop
who we-
that. No, because me and G they talk about this all the time.
Who we trying to be like, Rob?
Bro, we talking about, oh man, these people came and everybody ain't deserving of national
But
talk.
hold on, that's not even national, Rob. It's not national.
I'm just
Rob.
speaking of the.
So Rob, so this one I'm asking a question. This is the true thing. So you telling me what we do in Houston with the rankings and evaluation of kids and looking at kids and giving honest opinions it's the right way. That's the identity we want for Houston.
Okay, let me ask you a question real quick.
No, you
I
can't
got
answer a question with a question.
So yes, let me say this. Yes,
that's bullshit. All right.
Yes, let me tell you why. Because before all of us existed, before G-Day was here, before Gary was doing it, before I was doing it, it was one dude doing it for I want to get it right. For like 14 years, one dude did it in the city, right? It was other people, but it was one known person who did it in the city. Let me ask you a question. Did we still get kids in the top 100, Kim? Yes, we did. Did we still get kids in the McDonald's games? Yes, we did. Did we still get kids to high-level Division I scholarships and drafted to the NBA? Yes, we did. And that same person pretty much still doing it the same way.
Bro, just because
but that doesn't. What you're telling me, what you're saying is, yes, we're not saying that we have not done anything, bro. It's like I said earlier. Some stuff is just gonna happen. Certain guys are just gonna be good enough. Certain things are just people are gonna see. But when you start saying we're the fourth largest to third largest city in America, and you telling me every year we've had less than maybe 5 national players.
Have we been good recently? Let's just do. Hold on, no. You asked the question. Let me ask the question. Have we been good recently? Like
good in which way? Good in which way?
Have it been some kids that was deserving to be nationally ranked that wasn't?
But do you know? No, we haven't. But do you want to know why? We're the reason why. Because we don't give kids honest opinion. We water down the situation by continually having so many programs who are not being honest with kids, where the shit look like trash, and we don't really say this. And I'm gonna give you a great example that G-Day said very well, and this is a true situation. Team Illinois came down here and played in a tournament, and they had guys who played on mean streets on the EYBL circuit, and we went up and played those guys again. So those guys are playing on a local team and getting national rank recognition. But here, we're so worried about guys getting stolen that we won't do what's best for the city. For instance, CJ Barnes has went and played 2 or 3 tournaments with Trae Young and has gotten national recognition by playing with them, but still comes and play with us. And I'll be honest with you, until I met G-Day, I would have been still one of the dudes in the city talking about, oh, I don't want my guy to go here. They're going to steal my guy. They're going to take my player. No, because at the end of the day, it's the betterment for the kid. So if we do better with putting guys on national rank situations and work together, then we'll get more kids noticed and more kids to get a chance to prove themselves on a national outlook. But we don't do that. It's
how many kids that ain't. How many kids that ain't?
I'm Rob. I'm with you on that.
No, I'm just asking though. How many kids that ain't on a national shoot team or whatever that you think deserve national attention right now?
Honestly, I don't know. But I will say this. I will say this.
One maybe.
I'm not saying this kid that needs national.
Listen to the point, Rob.
Yes.
I'm not
Rob. Look, no, it went over.
I'm listening.
It went over your head. It's the job to get the media, the national media, to what? To bite the bait. We have to sell the bait, Rob. We have to sell the bait.
Gotta go play at the end of the day.
We gotta sell the bait. We have to sell it. We gotta.
That's what a lot of people do.
It's. I'm not saying every kid deserves national attention.
No.
Now, I'm not saying every kid is a nationally ranked kid, but I watched the Hoops 15, and they played against some national kids, and they took care of business. I watched the Hoops 16s, and the Defenders play against national kids this weekend. The Hoops 16 took care of business. The Defenders competed for a while. And then I watched the Hoops 17s play against 2 of the top national point guards in the country, and they handle business. I'm just saying, Rob. So if we're handling business against the national kids, but our kids aren't national, then So who is missing the mark? Us or them?
I got one for you, Rob. Them hoop
And
16s beat the each one teach one 16s, and I felt like they were the best 16s in the country. And
and
that
also,
went so under
Rob,
the radar.
that same person misses out on people a lot too.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that, but that's because one person can't cover the whole
Facts.
greater metropolitan area, right?
Facts.
So that's gonna happen. That comes with the territory, right?
So
Yeah,
we
But
have
what
to get better with trusting each other's
yeah, collectively, man.
opinions collectively. And to ask DK question, D King question, no, he is not good enough yet to be a national
Oh,
guy.
I ain't even been looking at the comments, man.
But the opportunity of him to get those reps and be seen to play with those guys, hey, hopefully he will get there. But again, no, he's not there yet. No.
Hey, Mr.
I'm
Day,
with y'all. I'm with y'all.
he's Mr.
Man, Aaron trying to
Day.
get me beat up, man.
But hey, that's the first thing I was finna bring up.
Aaron,
Block
what's
on
the
the
ball
show.
plug, man? You trying to get me beat up, man?
He is
That's
blocked
the
on
plug
the
you
show.
job there.
But no, real talk. I got one for you. What was Tremont Mark's national ranking before he went to U of H?
He
Is he
was
considered a national guy?
he was, but he was low,
He was
like
a low national.
low
Now,
nationally.
was that low? Now, after we see what his freshman year was that ranking worth? Well, was it accurate for what
It's
we see?
it's hard to tell because he went to the right situation for him, and so a lot of kids chose the wrong situations, and then a lot of kids did choose good situations, but because they had to play the weight game, they jump in a transfer portal and now they put themselves in a worse situation. And that kid knows exactly who I'm talking to, because his mom's on here watching and she knows too.
See,
Wrong situation, and I already told y'all that was the wrong decision. That we can go on.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's kids that came out this last class that I thought might have could have been a little bit higher, and they wasn't pubbed higher. And it was really that EYB group from the hoops team was special with LJ Jr., Tremont, Langston Love. Like, y'all know I love Langston Love to death. I feel like he don't even get talked about, and he'll come through any AAU game and give you a smooth 30 with no sweat.
No, like
Langston
Shalane was
Love should have
this
been a
though, but he was
McDonald's.
tough
He should
at
have been a McDonald's All
when
American.
I seen him play at UIL the state championship, and I was like, man, this boy is tough.
Like,
Yeah,
Before
bro,
Cibolo
before all the
still.
hype,
he went in
before all the
Yeah,
hype.
Cibolo still.
like
Yeah,
bird.
I ain't know how to say the name right, so I just
Yeah, Cibolo.
oh,
Cibolo
see, I was
still.
gonna say Sabalo. See, that's why I was saying that, man.
Man, like there's some kids that even in the last year who I felt should be nationally, those dudes got fucked at the end. Like,
But it's not even
I
about
feel
being
like it's a
that.
disrespect to Texas, though. I don't even feel like it's just Houston because
that's why I brought
Arteria
up.
Morris definitely should be in it. Arteria Morris definitely should be on the top 60 ESPN in my humble opinion. And Terrence Arsenal should be in the top 60 ESPN in my humble opinion. It's just
But
it's
that's what we're saying. So again, I guess what I'm
but
saying is, right?
but look though, AG,
The promo
we
train.
talked about
Hey,
Terrence
hey,
Arsenal to
hey,
death.
hey, hey,
My bad,
hey,
Coach
Rob.
Willis. I
Hey,
apologize. I
hey, you
apologize. I
can't do
caught up in the
that. You
moment.
can't do that.
Kind of caught up in the moment. We talked about Terrence Arsenal and his state performance. Like it still didn't matter. It still didn't matter.
Promo
What
train.
you doing? Whispering sweet nothings over there, Rob, man?
Promo train,
Nah.
bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, think about who pushes kids. You know who has a great promo train?
Oh, Carter has arrived.
Like Noah Shelby and Lee Dort and that whole Trey Young team. I'm gonna piggyback off Anthony Willis. CJ Barnes getting love because that promo train over there is pretty good.
And that's all I was saying. Like we
Media,
have to,
they got a
right.
graphic
You have
designer.
you have to have the media be. You have to put. So if you're a team, I need a video guy dedicated to my team. I do. I need one. not just a media guy. Not just video guy. I need somebody who's really good at graphics, dedicated to my team. I need them. I need somebody who's going to push and pub my kids.
I need somebody that got relationships with other evaluators across the
Yes.
country.
I
So
need you.
when I pull up,
Yeah.
this guy can watch my team, and now he can vouch for what my guy has been saying that I have. But they don't get it like that because, in the words of somebody famous, oh, I got me 3 video guys. That's all I need. All right, my brother. We'll see how far that gets you. It's a bigger picture than that. But y'all told me media don't matter. So I'm gonna stick with that.
But that's because everybody people don't know the real definition of media. G dot. That's why they don't. And I ain't gonna say it again. You can
Hey,
go back and
hey,
watch
I
the
didn't
show.
tweet. I didn't tweet out the definition of media and put it on Twitter one day.
You have, but that don't mean people. That don't mean people. Who read?
Oh, you right. You
Who
right.
reading?
Ain't nobody reading.
Who's reading? And I only said that because I did a 3-month survey on my own Twitter. I did from when I wrote stuff, when I placed a picture, or when I did a video. When I
Mr.
did
Decker asking some good questions.
He
Anyway,
is when I did a picture, I got the most impressions from just the image. More impressions from an image than I did for a video. Video second, and then actual words is last. People don't really want to read. They don't, and they wonder
Oh
why the
no,
kids. They wonder
no,
why the kids don't know how to read.
they don't want to read. No. What's called why
And I'm
dance?
not.
How much does a promo team cost?
let
A
me talk
team.
about this. Mr. Dave, our good friend Joshua Cleary charges $1,500 for a team mix. Let me repeat that. Our good friend Joshua Cleary, JRC Media, shout them out. I'm gonna go get a job with them because they paying
They paying.
$1,500 for a team mix for 1 weekend.
One weekend, and guess what? He gets clients.
And that is probably the most ridiculous
Oh, that
thing
ain't.
I've ever heard in my life.
That,
No,
I didn't say it on here, but I did on the Hoop Scoop.
you ain't
I'm,
seen that.
I'm a part of a group. I'm a part of a videographer group, and there's guys who make $5,000 to $10,000 every weekend. Just I'm talking about Friday through Sunday, off of doing
It is what it
videos,
is.
whether it's basketball, volleyball event, a baseball event, whatever.
Bro, we're for
But
Houston.
Mr. Beaker, I'll talk to you outside of this.
Like, bro,
I could tell you I don't charge nearly that much.
And I'm a testimony. God damn it.
like it's crazy. Like, I
Okay, so I got a question for y'all. So let's get down to some nitty gritty here. So if it costs, let's go with that 1,500. Okay, let's go with that. All right. So if we're trying to get kids out, because we know Twitter and all that is like the thing, like that's the way you big facts. We know the game. We know what it's about. Okay. But if we're trying to get kids notice and things like that, if we're charging $1,500 for a weekend for a team, if a team goes to 10 tournaments, that's $15,000 just for that.
Anthony, stop being cheap and dense, my brother.
Oh no!
That's
Stop
cheap
that.
and dense.
No,
Bro.
stop. No.
We not doing 10 tournaments.
Hey, hold on. But no. But hold on. But if for me, what I'm saying is that even if you do 6 tournaments, where like for instance, I got 6 I would say big stops. I got 4 NY to LA stops, and I got like 2 other big stops that's in there. So if I get charged $1,500 just for a team mixtape, when am I charging my parents then for the play? Because at the end of the day, I mean, when you start talking about dues and stuff like that, like how are we affording that? Because who are we going to get sponsored?
Hold on. I got you, bro. I got you. First of all, kids don't need all that mixtape media every weekend. I'm not a big proponent of that, right? So your 4 big stops, right? So yes, your 4 big stops. How many you carry on your bench? How many kids?
10.
So $100 a piece extra for media from those 10 kids, that's 1,000. And then you as a team person, you pay your percentage or however you want to break that down, and you're fully covered. And then now you have stuff to send out to colleges. Because
okay, so Gary, I like you. I like you. But let's be real. Let's scroll down this whole entire thing. Let's be real. How many parents, when we live in the world of I want to play for free, gonna pay? Like, come on, bro. Like, let's
no. You're right. You are absolutely right on that point.
And your internet in the matrix, man.
This is why kids don't get to go to college, because you find the wrong thing to not be invested about. I'd rather pay you $200 right now than have to go pay $30,000 for tuition. And it's so small sighted instead of looking at the bigger picture.
I'm with you.
I got y'all, and I'm not one to say that he's in the wrong for charging what he charges. But what I'm gonna say is, because I'm not, and see, he's just a videographer. I get it. He's charging you for his lens, the upkeep of his equipment, not just time, his computer, all that. I got it.
Which is right. Hey, G,
right, yeah. So
it's right. Like, don't get me wrong. That's the right price. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I know what it costs. Let's keep it 1,000. People don't even know the time that is put in when you go do edits and things like that. People don't know. But what I'm saying is that it's the truth, though. It's just kind of like as we keep going, the AAU tournament fees go up. As we keep going, the entry fees to the tournaments goes up. And you still got parents working the table and doing stat sheets. We ain't gonna get on that. But as we go, it's certain, like, so I get it. But as we continue to say it's about the kids, and I understand everybody got to pay their bills, everybody got jobs they got to do, I'm with it. But at some point, we have to say, like, come on, bro. Like, how, like, because you got to also be reasonable about when you start saying parents with the situation. I get what you said, G-Dot, like, you know, like, hey, I'm going to go pay this amount for school or whatever. But when you start, let's just say you start getting, I know some parents who've been getting mixtapes for their kids since they were freshmen, okay? Let's say I was one of the first teams who started doing the whole, you know, episodes and different things and getting my kids. I mean, I used to get Evan mixtapes all the time. But when you start saying, you know, $1,500 for one team mixtape, so when you get, and I'm with her, because if you get to the point, and parents today are getting smarter with technology, you can record stuff on your iPhone and edit it and put. I mean, I see kids now go on Baller TV, take their own little stuff off, edit it, make it, boom, and post their own video. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen many of my kids. I'm like, bro, how he got that mixtape? Oh, well, he went on Baller TV, took his edits, posted, boom, 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 boom. But I'm saying it's one of those situations that I feel it's gonna get to the point where how do we really afford it? Because things continue to go up and higher and higher and higher and higher.
Here's my thing, and cost of living and is going up anyway, right? So everybody's footing the bill.
But
But
everybody ain't getting paid that much
listen,
money
listen.
going up.
If you lock in with somebody that you've been tried, true, and tested with, you're not at $1,500. You know, if you gave somebody a chance early, like a up and coming videographer, well then you okay, because guess what? They not starting off at 1,500. You know,
That's true. I'm
so
with you on that.
you pay for quality. So if you want super quality, you're gonna pay super price. But if you're paying to get something achieved and a goal achieved, I'm pretty sure you can find somebody within your reason and your
I
budget.
guess. Hey, I'm with you, but I just don't see how $1,500
You
for
don't see
one
how?
team
Don't worry, don't
video.
worry. I'm gonna send it to you, and I'm gonna show you what 1,500 look like.
That's cool, and I'm
I'ma
gonna show
send it.
you, and I'm gonna show you something else that ain't $1,500 that's still getting my job done. G Day, amen, amen, amen. So I'm good. So I don't give a damn. Hey, I don't care about nothing. You can send me. It could be Matrix.
It is, and it
Hey,
is.
great, buddy.
It
Great.
is.
And but real quick, like how you were saying, everything keeps going up. Video equipment goes up too,
No, that's right.
and
Hey, I'm
right.
with
And
you.
so, but and I'm with him on the itemizing and everything, because that's how it really should be done. Because you should be able to work to where if anything happens, I can go and replace this right now. I can go replace my equipment right now. That's the real, that's the logistical way, the way that you should really do it. For me, it's because I'm not just a videographer, but I'm a scout, and so I'm not going to charge a team mix a lot of money, because guess what? Number 7 through 10 on the bench, they're not going to play a lot anyway. They may not even get a cameo in the video.
They might
So
be in the huddle at the beginning, just
Right.
clapping
So
it up.
now,
Like,
so
it's
now you're
over.
forcing, so now you're
10
forcing a
videos.
parent
He
to
got
pay
15
for
grand.
something
10
that
videos.
they're really not being featured in.
He got 10 videos, 15 grand. Woo! Man, I'm in the wrong business, bro. God damn.
But you gotta realize gas, hotel,
Hey,
lodging.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. So, hey, I'm just saying, hey, I'm
It's
a coach
be
that
out
do
there.
AAU. So I'm just saying, if it's a big argument, got called $1,500 for one video for a minute and 30 seconds, and I won't roll up and tell a parent, hey, my AAU fee is $1,500. I just don't want them to tell me I'm too expensive. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mr. Millender, I have a recipe that I kind of don't want to say over the air, because you know I believe I got a formula, right? But at the same time, no, it's not with videos all the time. Sometimes it's just different. Like, but each kid has his own path. Like, if your kid is really, really good and they're killing it, well, then now I'm letting college coaches know I got a good GPA. Like, you know, there's different ways to expand the process, but it's just not all just media. Like, and when I say media, I mean basketball highlights. You know, coaches kind of want to know what your personality is, what your character traits. Like, I tell you, like, how many coaches that want to ask how is the kid's attitude? They ask me that a lot.
Mr.
It's not
Dudes,
always about basketball.
some
Dude,
people spend over 10 G's a summer, Mr. Dudes.
bro, on the girls' side, it's way more expensive. And what you?
I did a girls for a year. I know.
It's 650
I know.
over there.
No, I did girls for a year. I did girls and a guys team in 1 year, and I know how much money it costs. So that's my point. All I'm saying is, if I'm gonna pay somebody $1,500 for one thing, hey, video is one thing, but having one of you guys focus on your kid with your connection, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But
I'm not paying.
that's what comes with the hiring, because just like if you hire Mr. Day or me, we know people. Just like if you hire somebody else, you gotta hope that they know people to put your stuff in front of the right people.
Exactly. So I'm not paying no video guy $1,500 for no video.
Hey, Ant, And don't get lost on the price.
Bro, I'm lost on it. I'm swerving in it. I'm
Don't
dazed in
get
it.
lost
Cause that don't make no sense, bro.
on the price, bro, because I can tell you some stories where
I
you know,
no, and I know you can.
it's it's
I
some,
know you can.
it's some people out here
Hey,
that got my content that I kind of want to run up on right now.
hey, listen, hey.
That's the
I know
difference.
some people. I know some people who pay $500 to get ranked from number 50 to number 35. I know that too. So again, it's ridiculous for me. It's ridiculous for me. Hey,
I,
hey.
I'll lace you up later, D King.
You ain't getting it.
I'll lace you up.
You definitely ain't getting the easy schedule, Big Mouth. You getting the hardest bracket. I'm gonna make sure you do. I'm
I'll
helping them
lace you up later,
schedule.
D King. But
I'm
no,
helping them schedule.
no. But when he said 10, I'm being serious. $10,000,
No,
and I'm talking about.
but more
I'm
than
talking about.
that.
I'm
bro,
talking
you
about
know the difference.
entry fee for the
You know
whole
the
year,
difference between the pay
hotels for the whole year,
discrepancy when
team fee
you
for the
look
whole
like
year, and everything else.
when you look like me, they don't want to pay you, bro. When you look a little different, whatever your price is, people don't have a problem with it. That's the real argument in this price discrepancy thing. I'm gonna be honest. And I asked this guy who ran a tournament, he asked me to come by, right? Well, I'm not Hollywood. I just want to come and support the kid. He say, "What you need?" I say, "Man, don't worry about it. Just give me a 6-pack of yellow Gatorade. If you my friend and you know me, Mr. Day knows what yellow Gatorade is to me, especially with me and my health, right?" So I get to the event, ask me if I had one yellow Gatorade, not a 6-pack. Ask me if I had one. But it was professional. I still covered his event. But bro, like people would try to get over on you and act like they didn't need you in the first place. Like, oh, you just do some tweets. Oh, okay, for sure.
Mr. Dudes is fool, man.
Like, but like, bro, like people refuse to pay for quality, and that's like I ask Mr. Day a lot, but you know when I know somebody that's not willing to pay, I'm not gonna ask Mr. Day to go record their game.
Cause I
Why?
ain't gonna do it.
You don't hold on, G-Day. Hold on, let me say it. You don't ask Jeffrey M. Day to show up and do anything for free. Unless
Unless you want to
if you want to go, if you want the phone to go click, do that. Just man, give me a deal, bro. I ain't he put me on it. I ain't doing nothing for free no more. I ain't anything I do, I'm charging something. I ain't doing nothing for free no more. Cause in life, you only worth what you can negotiate.
And don't get me wrong, I don't do a lot of things just for money only. Like I do things off the strength, but like, bro, I stay an hour from any gym in the city.
Boy,
So for
I
you to
found
ask
that
me
out.
to pull up to
I
a
found
gym,
that out 2 weeks ago. I'm like, hell, heck no, that wasn't too far, boy. Hey, boy.
uh, bro, we don't stay close to none of these facilities.
Me neither.
Me either. Me either.
But sometimes free is more expensive than paying.
Shout out to Cruz.
Hey
That boy
man,
put on the exhibition the other day, and I won't let boys forget.
parents,
Saying sometimes free
parents. I
just
wish
and guess
y'all
and here's
understood
something.
what we went through, parents.
Go and before we go, I wanna say this. A lot of times I have people cover other kids' tabs just because of how well they did. And
They
so
missed that. They missed that nugget. They
They
missed that.
Deep, go ahead, run that back one more time.
They missed
and
that
so some
nugget.
no they can listen to another they can go back and rewatch the show. And so sometimes you may want to be careful how you treat certain people because certain people are looking out for your kids. And this is the shot clock, man.
Turn up. Turn up. We appreciate everybody who tuned into the show tonight.